Hey, it's Russ and Lauren, and we are continuing to try and guess our way through some reaction content that we've been asked for. And as we do this, we are going to always ask for suggestions and whatnot. But in the early going, we have more than a few artists that we love that we want to throw out there with certain reactions and whatnot. This one here is no big surprise. Michael Jackson, an artist I talk about heavily on the program. Lauren's been brought slowly but surely into being a bigger fan of MJ's work. For me, this particular one, this footage is not the concert that I was at, but this is from the one and only time I got to see Michael Jackson in concert, which was on the Bad tour. I have told you personally this story, Lauren. I believe I've told it on the podcast before, but I only got to see about 10 seconds of this particular song in concert on account of the fact that Michael Jackson pointed in our general direction at the concert, which, as you might imagine, made me faint.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what happens. So what we're going to watch today, and Lauren hasn't seen this before, this is Michael Jackson opening the Bad tour at Wembley Stadium, doing the song "Wanna Be Starting Something," which everybody knows. And for me, it'll be fun to see, the rest of the song.
I'll be standing by with smelling salts just in case.
Yeah, just in case I fall out again. So for me, one of the biggest things about a Michael Jackson performance is always like the look at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, as if we all didn't know the concert was going to start. He looks like, how dare you start a concert?
Yeah.
Right? And then here, you see when he comes out and points in the general direction of people, that's where
you went down.
Yeah. Which is, I would argue, is not my fault.
No, he pointed at you.
My general direction. I want to be clear, I don't think he was pointing at me. It was just my general direction of the Palace of Auburn Hills. This is probably something you haven't heard a lot as a live vocal at a Michael Jackson concert. So what are your thoughts when you hear this? Because it's lower than the album.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that he's moving around so much that I can't imagine how he's keeping up the singing and doing all that he's doing, because I can barely talk to you when we're walking on the treadmill.
Right. Me too.
So.
Yeah, and I would argue that this is harder work than the treadmill.
Yeah.
What's funny is that you say that. I didn't even think about this till just now. So the only people doing backup vocals on this right now are not moving around anywhere near as much as MJ is. Like his backup dancers do not have to vocalize.
Right, they just have to dance.
Yeah, they just have to dance, where he's doing both. And I would argue he's doing the dancing as good or better than them.
Yes.
Right? That lyric, I think I've told you about this before, is a lyric that took me a very long time to figure out what he's saying. Do you know what he's saying there in the second verse there?
No.
He says, Billie Jean is always talking when nobody else is talking.
Oh, like as in the Billie Jean?
As in the Billie Jean who would be on the flip side of the same album.
Oh, wow.
Right? So if you've never heard him say that before, because I hadn't, if you hear it again and for the rest of your life, that's what you're going to hear now.
Huh.
It's like, oh yeah, that's exactly what he's saying. But what kills me about this is if you're MJ at this time, you could just kind of come out and, for lack of a better term, half-ass the first song, because the whole place are going to faint. And the whole place is going to be like, oh my God, it's him. And like from the get, this is like the first song, and the dude's like,
no, he's whole-assing it.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah. That's correct. I love this outfit, by the way. You rarely see this. This is like a cooler version of the outfit that's on the cover of Bad.
Yeah, this is very cool. Is he singing about vegetables?
Yes. The part in this song right now is, the song as a whole, in my opinion, is more or less about not letting people or the world walk all over you.
Oh, okay.
And so what he's talking about, this is just don't be someone who lays there and takes it. And, yeah. This is one of my favorite parts of the whole song coming up here in a second. There's a hee-haw in the middle of the song.
Oh, right.
But look at this. Again, no one else standing here. All they have to do is worry about their dance moves. They don't have to worry about being on key, on time. And he's still doing it better than them.
Yeah, he sure is.
Yeah. This is always one of my favorite parts in any version I've ever watched of Wanna Be Starting Something. This is what I was talking about, where now he's going to stand here and be like, you will all adore this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah. And these poor guys are trying so hard to make it look like they're not out of breath.
Yeah.
And they're all out of breath, and none of them have been singing. Like, you've been to many concerts in your life. I don't think you've never seen a concert start this good.
No.
Like right out of the gate. This is you, and then you have, I don't know, an hour and a half or 2 hours more to come of this. Not to mention the fact that the guy's playing Wembley Stadium here.
That's amazing. Like, to have that much of that command over that large of a space, like with the first song.
When I saw this, the one thing I'm fortunate about is when I saw this tour, it was when they were doing arenas in the U.S.
Yeah.
Thinking that they could just do arenas. And so I got to see it in a much smaller venue. And then, of course, they had, like, by the time they got to L.A., it was like at the L.A. Sports Stadium for like 3 nights or something, you know? That's really the camera angle where you get an idea of how big that crowd is.
That's huge.
Yeah. If you just Google and look at like overhead shots of Michael Jackson concerts, it's insane the draw. Like how many people were there. With him being like in key and on time like that too, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, well, thank God he was doing that since he was 8 or 9.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Practice.
Like no in-ear monitors. I don't think there's any floor monitors actually for him. It's funny because there's a bunch of floor monitors for the people behind him. He's like, I got it.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. I love the way, like, what a way to start the show.
That was awesome.
Yeah. To me, it's stunning because, like, we joke, but this is very real. This story is very real. It's not made up at all. Like, I literally went to that show with my mom, was beside myself excited. We had side stage seats in the lower bowl, or in the upper bowl rather. So like really, if you look at that footage at Wembley, you know, there's people that were like a whole arena away from him and further, right? So we were like, I don't know, a couple 100 feet away, and he came out, spun, and literally pointed in our general direction, and I was like, and I missed that and the second song, and then I came to during another part of me, and went running back to my seats and got to see the rest of the show where I did not stand for the rest of the show. Had sat in my seat, and actually during Billie Jean, I held on to both sides of my chair to make sure that I did not stand up.
Oh.
Because I was like, I'm going to stand up, I'm going to fall down again.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
so
cute.
So anyways, this is some reaction content that we were asked for, and we thought we'd put up there. So for me, if you've listened to the show, you know I've seen all this MJ stuff many times, but it's very fun for me to show it to Lauren so she can see like why it is that I'm such crazy pants about the guy as a performer. And if you're an MJ fan, you probably understand and feel the same way. So as we go through all this, if you have other MJ stuff maybe that you want her to see, or you could try and challenge and see if you have something that I haven't seen, that's fine. Or if you just want to hear my thoughts on it, that's fine too. If you would share this video out on socials, because that helps people find us. If people see what you're liking, leave us a comment. Let us know what it is you like about the video or what your thoughts are on this performance. And as we always say, thank you so much for watching.